In this video, I'm going to attempt to answer all of your questions around independent contractor versus employee. What's the difference between a 1099 contractor and a W-2 employee? Why is it important? How do you know whether to classify a worker as an employee or as a contractor? What is the tax implications? What about workers' compensation insurance? What kind of paperwork should I collect from the worker before they get started? What do I have to file with the IRS? I'm Jim Flouse. I'm licensed by the federal government to practice before the Internal Revenue Service in all 50 states, and I run a concierge tax practice in helping real estate agents to stop overpaying the IRS. Here's the difference between an employee and a contractor. A W-2 employee gets paid a salary or hourly, and often they'll be paid overtime. They have taxes withheld from their check. First of all, federal and state withholding, and then second of all, FICA, which is Social Security and Medicare. Third, you as the employer will actually have to pull money out of your pocket and match the Social Security and Medicare portion, which is basically about 7.5% out of your pocket. On the other hand, a contractor has no taxes withheld. If a contractor performs services and you owe them $500, you write them a check for $500. They are responsible for the taxes. They'll pay income tax on that money. They'll also pay, separate from you, self-employment tax, which is the way the IRS collects from them, ultimately, Social Security and Medicare. You're not part of that equation at all. Well, just from that comparison, it's pretty easy to see. Most small business owners, most real estate agents, most brokers in the real estate business would much rather pay people on a contractor basis than an employee basis. It's a lot easier. There's no taxes to withhold. There's no insurance to worry about, no Department of Labor laws to be concerned about. It's just fast and easy. Write them a check, let them take care of the taxes. Well, not so fast, my friend. The reality is it's the IRS who gets to determine whether a worker is an employee or a contractor. And they have a list of about 20 different factors. To boil it all down, who exhibits behavioral control? Behavioral control is such things as who sets the hours, who provides the equipment, who does the training, who sets the rules, so to speak, who analyzes the quality of the work done. Second of all is financial control. Who's really responsible for the finances? If you're reimbursing someone for their expenses, or you're taking some of that financial burden off their shoulders, then they're most likely going to be an employee. And then finally, what is the type of relationship that you have? Now, clearly, what a lot of real estate agents like to do is say, well, look, I've got a worker, but we set up from the start, we have a contract, and we agreed that in that contract, I'm going to pay the assistant as a contractor. I'm not going to withhold any taxes, and they're going to be responsible for their own taxes. So we have a contract, they're a contract laborer. Well, that's not really going to be enough to cover it. That is good in itself, but it won't stand in light of the other 19 or 20 factors that the IRS has listed. And so it really has to be looked at as a whole, or as a holistic picture of what's going on. Misclassification of a worker as a contractor can create tax liabilities, fines, and penalties for your business. And if you have any doubt, I would recommend you actually err on the side of conservatism, because the IRS will pretty much say that they're an employee unless you can prove otherwise via the 20-factor test. Here's 3 simple questions that I would ask to help you make a quick judgment call on whether someone that you're hiring is either a contractor or an employee. Number 1, does the worker that you're looking to hire have their own independent business license? Number 2, does the worker you're looking to hire have their own business liability insurance? Can they provide you with a certificate of insurance? Number 3, does the worker you're looking to hire perform this same work for other real estate agents? So let's take an example. You're looking to hire an assistant. Does the assistant have his or her own business license? Do they have their own insurance? Do they do the same work for other agents? If you can answer yes to all 3, then it's pretty clear you can pay that person as a contractor and just file a 1099 at the end of the year. On the other hand, if the assistant does not have their own license, does not have insurance, does not perform the same service for others, well, they're not really an independent business owner, are they? They're really more like an employee. So you better file a W-2 and withhold taxes. Let's take another example. Let's say you have a repairman who's going to help you repair some things in order to get a deal closed. Do they have their own business license? Can they provide their own liability insurance certificate? Do they do the same work for others? Well, if they're a true repairman or remodeling contractor, they probably can provide you all 3 very quickly, in which case they're a 1099 contractor. Once you've determined that a worker should be classified as a 1099 contractor or an independent contractor, you should obtain a W-9 form. Just pull it down off the internet. Google Form W-9 and a PDF copy of that form, a blank one, should be available for download directly from the IRS website. Give it to the contractor, have them complete the information before they start working. All it will ask for is their name and their social and their address, and then finally, how do they operate as a business? Are they a sole proprietor, LLC, are they incorporated? This is all going to be critical information for you to have later. On the other hand, if the worker is to be classified as an employee and you hire them on that basis, I would recommend that you hire a payroll processing company to help you filing all of the paperwork and the payments that have to be made associated with the taxes that are going to be withheld. Frankly, the tax forms have a lot of different numbers, a lot of different filing deadlines, and the payments have separate deadlines. And you've got federal agencies, probably more than one state agency. Over 60% of new employers make a mistake in filing the payroll taxes during the first 2 years. So a word to the wise, classify the worker correctly and then make sure that you get help in filing the right paperwork. At the end of the year, by January 31st, you'll have to file either W-2s or 1099s for those people that are working for you. In the case of contractors, if you pay them more than $600 during the year and they're not incorporated, then you must file a 1099 and a 1096 with the IRS. The 1096 form is just like a cover form. It's the cover sheet for all the 1099s that you have to file. What I've tried to do in this video is just hit the high points regarding independent contractor versus employee. Frankly, I could spend 2 hours addressing all the different components of this question, but either you or me or both of us would probably be asleep by the end of it. So I just tried to hit the highlights here. If you do have a question, please type it into the comments below and I'd be glad to answer you that way via reply. I'm Jim Flouse, rhymes with house. If you sell houses, please don't make the mistake of spending thousands more in taxes than you should be paying to the IRS. We found that there's 10 classic mistakes realtors make. You can avoid those by downloading our free PDF guide, The Ultimate 10 Tax Hacks Rich Realtors Use to Pay Less Tax and Keep More in Their Wallet. Download it by hitting the link in the description below. Also, please share this video with friends and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll be up to date on new tax tips that we come out with throughout the year, as well as any changes in the tax code that might affect you and your real estate business. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.